So I ended up abandoning that as well, just to like kind of just keep. They just want a simple stream these days.
For I've noticed that too, and I think
Hmm.
technology has just advanced over time too. I don't know if you're old enough to remember, sites like Justin TV, but before it became Twitch, but people would mainly stream with say like a face cam, and I'll have this game in the corner, and then they'll start having layouts and other things, and now it evolved to like PNG tubing and
Hmm.
VTubing nowadays, and it's just pretty much advancing from there. And
Yeah.
it's basically, oh, when we were kids we always wanted to watch either whether it be our sibling or a friend or something play a video game, and now people make money from others watching video games.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Pinky. They've gone more minimalist. Yeah, and I was actually thinking about Emmy's stream because Emmy has a nice minimalistic stream and it looks really good. So, and also I love like I think a lot of VTubers put a lot of effort into their rooms. Like Pinky has an amazing background room, and like I really like mine, and like that's kind of like the cool part of being a VTuber is like having your room that really shows off your VTuber's personality. But then when it comes to like gameplay, you just keep it really minimalistic.
For for sure. Is there like any particular layout, just in general, that sticks out to you, or something you yourself would like to have in the future?
Hmm. I mean, I think I'm really happy with what I do have. I don't see myself changing it for very much. I do. Hmm. Yeah, I definitely see like when I watch like Silvervale, like I know Silvervale is like super big. I compare to my like I think about her a lot, but like she has all these amazing like anime animations like in her like just starting or her BRB screen and stuff that people have made for her, and it's just think it's the coolest thing. So like maybe one day it would be really cool to have like animations of Cherry, like somebody do like an actual animated like story or something, or just cool like anime opening. But uh oops, 1 second.
Oh, I just resent you that invite, by the way. There we go.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, maybe that'd be like one day when you're like partner and you have like tons of people.
Is getting to partner something you is a goal of yours, or something that you aspire to be in the future, or are
Mm,
you just taking it as it is?
no, it's not really a goal of mine. I think my biggest goal right now is just more realistic of just like I'd like to be to the point where I'm getting like I don't know why this number pops up, but it's always been my goal to be like 33 average streamer, like average viewers. So like that I feel like that's big enough. That's where it's like you're still slow and like it's still slow enough to where you can keep up with chat, but at the same time you still have a nice, a much bigger audience. So I'm hoping to like break that barrier hopefully by next year. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Like, we've been hitting constantly like, like 20 viewers and stuff like that, which is really big for me. Like I've never had that amount until I came back from my big hiatus. So the fact that, I feel like I've had a lot of growth so far since I've come back 6 months ago. It was really refreshing to like I changed a couple things, and I feel like I'm like, have a, more solid community, and we're growing a lot more. So but yeah, that's my really only goal at the moment.
Yeah. Now, from personal experience, what's it like to be like going from a really small, maybe not very well known streamer to someone who's growing now and just continuing to grow slow, just, just grow over time?
Um I'm sorry. I was like focusing on not coughing, and I totally didn't listen to your question.
Oh, good. I was asking, from personal experience, what's it like, to go from this really small, maybe not very well known streamer to someone who is growing and getting more well known now and getting a bit more attention as time goes on.
Yeah, it's been really, really nice. It was really interesting. I hopped into another VTuber stream the other day, and I was just like, I think it was one of the Say So streamers that you suggested, and I hopped in there, and I was like, "Hi," and then she was like, "Oh my gosh, I know you," and I was like, "What? How do you what? What?" And she's like, "I know Cherry Sprout. I've seen you around," and I'm like, "Whoa." That's cool. Like, that felt really validating, and of course, like, getting more viewers like, constant viewers is like, "Wow, maybe I could do this." I don't know. I have a lot of self-doubt, when I compare myself to other people, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's nice, but I do see how well other people do, and then I'm like, "Oh, I'm never gonna be that good." So it's always a battle inside.
Now, is streaming full time something you would like to do or would consider doing in the future?
I don't know. A part of me feels like I hear, like, in the back of my mind, my brother being like, "Get a job, get a real job, get a job." So I feel like I don't know if I would ever go. I just don't think I have what it takes to go full time. I think if I were more special, then maybe I could, but I don't really feel like I'm somebody worth going full time. Like, I don't think I could do it just because I don't know. I don't think I'm special enough to make that work.
Now, let's say hypothetically in the future you do get bigger and bigger. Um, what would that be like for you personally? Would you do like anything special, or is there like a particular uh, goal or celebration type of thing in mind if you were just to hit more of those higher numbers? I know it's like we're putting you on the spot, and because and anything could happen in the future, but it's something I like to I like to put into streamers' mind as something to think about, especially as they grow.
Yeah. I think I understood the question. Wait, what was it?
It was like, let's say hypothetically, you kept growing and growing and having bigger and bigger numbers from what you have today. What would what do you think that experience would be like for you personally?
Well, definitely, I always have more drive and energy. Thanks, Landmark. I always have a much bigger drive and energy the more people that come into the stream. So sometimes I do feel a little low energy if there's only like, like 8 people or something, which is, sad because like those are some like dedicated people that are always there for me and I really appreciate it. I do try to work hard for them. But sometimes when I see like there's 20 to 30 people in my stream, I'm like, I get happy and I get excited and I get a lot more motivated to be a better streamer, if that makes sense. So I think if we were growing and getting more and more people and like the growth was constant and we were getting closer to partner, I definitely don't think I would just quit. Like I think I would just like let it happen if it happens, but I'm not going to be like forcing myself to grind to get to partner just cuz I know how hard it is.
It is, and just someone who like to let things just come naturally. That grind can be very tough, and I see other streamers that do those partner push and bless them for trying to get to that goal, and it can be tough, especially when either maybe the algorithm isn't in your favor or something isn't
Mhm.
working out for you, and of course, on the other end of the spectrum, some people do get lucky and they just have that sudden burst of viewership and they get to partners very quickly. And I've seen
Mhm.
both. And it's very interesting just to see it from an outside point of view.
Mhm. Yeah, it's wild how many people I see like I'll be on their like first stream and I'm just like, "Okay, this person's going to blow up." And then they do. They blow up so fast. Like Mochi Mochi was one that I watched. And I was like, she's so good. And she had just started. And then she became partner within like 6 months. It was crazy. And then like Nekomi is doing really, really well. Like we found Nekomi like when she just started. And now she already has like average viewers of 20. And she only has like 100 and something followers. And I'm just like, wow, that's incredible. to see how some people just have the it factor. And, it's just amazing to see.
I know one of the things you like to do when you raid is focus on very small streamers and those that may not have a lot of followers or a lot of view count. Is there like a particular reason for that, or was there like some type of inspiration for that type of raid?
Yeah, I just remember when I was a really small VTuber and I was streaming to like maybe 1, maybe 3 people. And I just remember when I got my first raid and I was just so blown away and excited, and I felt like elation of just like, wow, somebody rated me out of all the people. So I just wanted to I just want to support small streamers and show them that they can have support and that they are seen. And I just I like to make VTubers days, like, young, just people who are just starting out or don't have a lot of people. I just think it's a really great way to just boost somebody's, their mood, or just make them feel special.
And it's just very heartwarming to see their reaction to. I remember one VTuber we got raided into. It was their very first raid, and it was a pretty decent raid too. And I think they were like stuttering and didn't know what to do. And they're like, "Oh hi, I'm a streamer name here. I do
Yeah,
this," and
yeah.
I think it was just a complete surprise on them, bless
Yeah, it's so
them.
cute. It's very cute, and it's very wholesome to, like, they just don't expect it. And then and it's funny because from my very first raid, I still have some people here from that raid, like 6 years ago. Some people who are still here and still subscribed from that raid, so it's quite amazing.
Yeah, I know Negumi and Emmy, who I believe is still in the chat. They were at least two of the people I put the raid on to. I put the raid on to Emmy, I believe it was last night, because he only had like not less than 100 followers. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna put a small streamer. Let's give her a raid their way, and she got like a 20 per something person raid, and she was like, oh my gosh, thank you
Yeah.
so much. So that was very heartwarming to see, especially after just coming back from not streaming for quite a while too.
Mhm. I think if I remember, we literally, like, I was doing the whole thing where I wanted to find a new VTuber to raid, and we found Emmy, and I think her stream title was something like "It's my first day streaming," so I definitely picked her, and then she just ended up being like super awesome. Like, Emmy's gonna grow so big. She's really great, and I wanna be there the whole time she grows.
Yeah, best of luck to her for sure. Now,
Mhm.
is there? Would you ever consider joining like a VTuber agency or group in the future, or would you prefer to stay independent?
You know what? That's a really, really good question. I definitely have wanted to join agencies in the past, and I've definitely auditioned for different agencies. And I see how often agencies like fall apart, or like really treat their VTubers horribly and take their money. And I just think, like, if I can do it independently, I'd be fine with just doing it independently. Like, it'd be cool to have like a team behind you, but at the same time, it's like I've put a lot of hard work into being like my independent streaming like lifestyle. Like, I don't know. It'd be nice to join like a group, like maybe a say so group or something, just to have that backing and that support. But as of right now, I think just staying independent might be the best way to do it, especially if you're not doing it super professionally.
That's a very understandable answer. Now, how about say VTuber events like say a V concert or a bigger VTuber collab? Is that something you would consider doing in the future? I know you're a
Oh
singer.
yeah. Yeah, I would absolutely love to do a concert, or like be a part of like a charity event, or like a bigger streaming, like like collab and stuff, I just yeah, a community group or agency, yeah. So community group, yes, agency probably not Toggy. Um,
Now I.
so
I'm
mhm.
sorry. Go ahead. No, go
Yeah, you go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. No, no worry. No, I was gonna say, VTuber Pinky is like Cherry, iDemobi, yes, Pinky. You know what you must do. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I'm pushing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I know you are a singer. You have released some songs. How did you get into singing, and how did you find like your particular style? And is there any like particular music that you like to sing to, or just any songs
Yeah,
you like to write?
yeah, I mean, definitely anybody who's heard my first album and thus all the songs after that are gonna be in my second album, like, they know I'm very say-so even in my music. Like, I usually don't write about love. I usually write about, uplifting things and, like, um, things that are just, like, wholesome and stuff like that. That's kind of my brand, and I enjoy writing about those things too, when it comes to like lyrics and stuff. And I think I get a lot of inspiration from like 90s dance music for my cherry music, something that's very fun and uplifting and just kind of, yeah, just has like a nice uplifting beat. So but yeah, that's probably it.
Now, I know one of the things I've seen VTubers do is like a karaoke stream. Is that something you would consider doing in the future?
Yeah, we actually do, karaoke every once in a while. I call it cherryoke.
Karaoke, there you go. I see what you did there.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, we definitely do maybe like once every 6 months or so, maybe 3 months or so. I'll throw in like a karaoke stream. Um, but it's funny because like I don't know a lot of songs, and especially because like a lot of VTubers, they do a lot of like Japanese songs or Korean songs or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know any of those. So like I'm working on like expanding my repertoire of like music that I can sing, so that I'm not just singing the same thing every time we do karaoke. But I definitely have like my go-tos. So, but it's something that's very hard for me is to like take time to like learn new songs. So we don't do it too often, but when we do, I have fun.
Yeah.
And it definitely is nerve-wracking, but yeah, it's fun and people are very supportive, which is really nice.
Oh, for sure. And when a VTuber does a karaoke, it's one of my favorite streams that I just love, either just listening to while I'm working or just playing on my TV and just listening to them like sing all these different songs. And some of the ones that I've seen, their singing is just really incredible too.
Yeah, like, I used to watch Gura when she did her her karaoke streams, and I'm just like, "Is she using, like, Auto-Tune? Because she's perfect." She was so good, and she was, like, playing the ukulele, and, like, I was just like, "Man, one day I wanna just be able to sing like that." She's so good.
There was this one VTuber, God dang it, I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but I just came across her stream one day, and she was doing like a ukulele and just singing different songs. And it's like this is probably like one of the best streams I've tuned into in quite a while, and I just hope she does that again because she was a really good singer. Just very
Mm.
relaxing to listen to.
And it's always interesting to see how all the different VTubers have, very different voices, and they're all like it's just really interesting to hear the different types of voices you get with VTubers when they sing.
Out the VTuber thing is like, wait, I thought your biggest hit was George Carlin's 7 dirty words you can't say on television or radio. Ouch, ouch, Pinky. Alright.
Oh, yeah, kalimba streams are becoming more popular.
They
Really? I
have,
love the
I've noticed
kalimba.
that too.
Mm.
Now, is there any advice you would give for those who either just aspire to be a singer or be a V singer or just do a karaoke stream just in general.
Yeah, I would definitely say you gotta be singing more often than just singing on stream. Like, I'm really bad about this because I live in a house full of people, so I don't really have a lot of, like, personal space to practice my singing. But I would definitely say if you wanna be more confident in your singing stuff, like, your voice is a muscle, and you need to take care of it and work it out as if it were a muscle. So you need to be singing like all the time if you want to, be able to be strong and confident on stream. So that's something I'm really bad at. So I'll say the advice of like, yes, sing often, so that you're not just like, using your voice only on stream. So, and make sure to warm up. Warm ups are important, and like, don't push yourself. Like I always end up like after like 2 hours of doing a karaoke stream, I'm just like, my voice is dead. It's gone. So just be careful.
Now, are there any other talents that you have aside from singing that you wanted like to share with your audience?
Um, well, I do really wish that I could share my children's books. That would be one thing that I'd really love. Of course, that would dox me, so I can't do it. But I would like maybe to start maybe working on poetry together with stream, like with chat, because all of my children's books are rhyming books, and I really do love like kind of being more poetic and doing poetry and stuff. So that's something I really want to try this year, is to get better with rhyming and cadences and meters and stuff like that. But we used to write, like, my entire first album was all written on stream with chat. So we actually like pulled up my Ableton DAW, and we actually wrote the music together, and then I produced it off stream and stuff, but we wrote the songs, and that was really fun, and I really love doing those types of streams and sharing it with people. But I don't think people liked it as much as I did, so I stopped doing it. I think a lot of people found it to be boring and tedious, but I had a really good time, and I think we got a lot of really great songs out of it. So I would like to do that more if people are interested, but usually they're not.
Now, I know you are a children's book writer. What's it like to be one, and what got you into that particular type of writing?
So I being a children's book author is a lot harder than I thought it would be. I definitely like I started out self-publishing, so there was a lot to learn there. I'm all self-taught. And like I really enjoy it, but it's really expensive. It's a very expensive hobby to have. And then now I'm trying to get traditionally published, and I've been learning so much about how difficult it is and how competitive. I wouldn't say competitive. It's actually quite a supportive community, but at the same time, I'm just like blown away by like some people who have like published books traditionally, and I'm just like, wow, how do you do that? I want to do that. But it's a lot of work. So I have to really hone my writing craft and get better and better. So
Do you
yeah.
take any inspiration from books that you read or other children's books at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't know. There's a lot of children's books that I remember reading growing up and stuff that I want to like emulate in my books. But at the same time, I just kind of come up with my own ideas, and just I don't know where they come from. They just like I might get inspired by like coming up with a character and being like, okay, what would this character teach as far as a moral? Like every single children's book that I do, I try to put in some sort of like lesson or life moral or something that you should children need to learn. So like, learning to resolve conflict, or learning how to make friends, or sometimes if kids are try like scared to go to sleep, I'll write a book that helps with that. Things like that. Or like just like learning to love who you are for like, yourself, and like things like that. So just uplifting ideas and things that will help children. I'm working right now on a comedy book, because a lot of the books I read as a kid were like really. just really funny books. They didn't really have much of a moral to them. They're just funny. So I've been working on my like comedy writing, which doesn't really come naturally to me, but I'm trying. So it's been a fun adventure.
You're similar to me because I grew up reading like a lot of non-fictional comedy books too, and I usually say two of my favorite books are the Wayside School series and the Fudge series because yes, it's silly, but you just fall so in love with the characters and the
Hmm.
antics that they get into, and you just want to keep
Yeah.
you either want to hate them as a character or you want to root for them and you want to see where they keep going from here.
The Wayside series is so good. The way that they write is just amazing.
Pinky was saying the monster under my bed scares me, but it turns out they were just as afraid as I was. So now we share my room and I have a bunk bed. I see what you did there,
Yay!
Pinky.
That's such a good little story. You should write that, Pinky. That'd be a good. You should say, yeah, the monster under my bed. That's really cute. I love that.
I, I know you mentioned one of your books, being done in rhyme. What was it like to write with rhyming words? Was it difficult or was it easy? And what advice
You
would you
know
give
what?
for someone that's trying to do that? Because rhyming can be tough. At least that's just from my experience of it. Because you gotta
Yeah.
think of like similar words that sound the same, and that's not always
Mhm.
easy.
Yeah, no, I definitely so everybody has a writer's voice. That's something I've been learning and when getting traditionally published. They're always like, what is your writer's voice? What is it? And my writing voice has always just been rhyme. It comes really naturally to me. Kind of maybe because I have such a background in music that I feel like everything has like a nice cadence, and like rhyming books have a nice little cadence and they're really fun to read aloud. So that's something that just kind of, I feel like I write better when I write in rhyme, and like it's more concise and stuff. So I don't know. I think my advice would be just like, I learned this once from a class I took in school. They said to whenever you're looking for a rhyme, first write out what you want to say, and then think of it's hard to say, but basically like write out what you want to say first and then convert it into rhyme. That way you're not trying to force a rhyme. You're first and foremost, the most important thing is story. So you got to get your story right before because a lot of times you'll be writing rhymes and you'll do these things called forced rhymes, where like the first line progresses the story, but then the second line is just a rhyme to fit, and it doesn't really progress the story. So they always say like rule number one is make sure that the story progresses with each line. So you have to be really careful about like making sure every rhyme counts and is moving the story forward. So that's I guess the biggest advice I would give. Don't rhyme just for the sake of rhyme. Make sure it's telling a story.
Okay. So I know you have traveled to like places like Japan. I forget what other countries you've been to, but what was it like to just travel internationally? Were there any like specific memories from those trips at all?
You know what? I feel very blessed that I've gotten to travel a lot. And I've been to a lot of places that I thought I'd never get to see, but I actually hate traveling. Whenever I have like I am one of those people that likes a staycation, just to stay home and do nothing and sleep and just chill and like heal and relax. But that being said, yes, I've had some amazing. So my family, we took a trip to Iceland, and we happened to be there during one of the strongest solar storms in the past 40 years. And we were staying in this farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, Iceland. There were no lights. There was nothing around us except for our house. And we got to see the biggest display of northern lights like in the past 40 years. So it was one of the most magical experiences, and getting to experience it with my family which is one of the best experiences. Like, I'll hold that so dear to my heart for the rest of my life. It was just so magical.
Yeah, as someone who traveled a lot, within like the past 2 decades, when you actually go out there and you see different countries and meet different people, it really does open your eyes to like how the world really is, and that there are a lot of good people in the world, and that pretty much 99% of the people just want to get by on their daily lives, despite what you see and hear on the TV, and it also exposes you to like a lot of different cultures and too, and traveling as someone who when I was younger, that was just one of those things that I jumped on an opportunity, and I would do it all over again. I don't regret it one bit. My dream trip when I was growing up was to go to Japan during cherry blossom season, and an opportunity came
Um,
up in 2018, and I did it, and that was probably my most memorable trip. It was one of the probably the best trip I've ever taken, and I wish I could do it all over again.
wow, that's so beautiful. I'm glad for you.
Did you get to go during cherry blossom season, or was it during a different time?
You know what? I've been twice, but I don't remember what time of year it was. I think once it was in the summer, and the other time maybe it was in spring. I honestly don't. I don't remember what time of year it was, but no, it was. It was in March. So I've done March and I've done July. So I think we were a little bit too soon for the cherry blossoms in March, but yeah, it was still beautiful. There was like a flower festival right underneath Mount Fuji, and like there was always. It's just no matter what time of year, Japan is just absolutely beautiful. Um, they get snow in the winter and cherry blossoms in the spring, and their summers can be kind of crazy. Like, I remember it being super hot and muggy, but it's
I
still
learned that the
still
hard
really
way when
fun.
I went to Japan in the summer during my first trip.
Emmy, sorry, you actually did. You missed us gushing about you.
Oh,
You'll have to catch the VOD. We were gushing about you earlier.
yeah, Emmy, we were just saying that you were one of the streamers that I pushed the raid onto, and just seeing your reaction was very heartwarming because you only had like what was it, like less than 100 followers, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna push the raid onto this person. It was like a 20 something raid, and seeing you saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That was just very sweet to see.
Yeah, and I think I was your first raid on your first day of streaming or something, if I remember. Because I think I remember finding you saying like it was your first day streaming was your title, and we found you. But basically, we were saying that like we think you have the it factor, and we think you're gonna grow really fast and be a great streamer, and we want to follow you the whole way through.
Yep, I agree with that. Uh, I'm sure you may have been asked this before, but are cherry blossoms like your favorite type of tree, hence the cherry sprout?
No, they're actually not. I mean, of course, I do love them, but I think my favorite tree is maybe like an oak tree, like a tree that changes into like beautiful colors in the autumn, like yellows and reds and oranges. And then there are also trees that are like really fun to climb. Those have always been my favorite trees, and I think a great oak is a really good tree for that.
Oh, I remember climbing those trees when I were a
Hmm.
kid. I think we've all done that when we were kids. Like, okay, well, let's climb this tree and let's see how high we can get. And well, if we fall,
Yeah.
we'll just bounce back up again. And
I don't know how many hours I spent as a kid just sitting at the top of a tree, just kind of enjoying the breeze and like the nature and stuff like that. And I would just sit there for hours. Like, those were the good old days.
for for sure. Now, have you ever done like a cherry blossom festival or like cherry blossom viewing IRL? And it doesn't have to be like in Japan. It can just be just anywhere, whether it be at home or
I mean, I've
elsewhere.
definitely seen cherry blossoms in bloom. I forget where I was, but I think I saw like you're like driving down a road and there's just cherry blossoms on both sides. And actually in Vancouver, there actually, I feel like I used to live on a street that had, I think they were cherry blossoms, I can't remember. They were pink petals, and the way that they would just fall like rain, like when the wind blew, and like it was just a really magical thing. Like I lived on a really beautiful street, and it was just like really magical every day to get out and like go walk to the bus, to just like walk through the rain of cherry blossoms.
Yeah. That's one thing I love to do, if the opportunity ever arrives. Just go to do see the cherry blossoms in Vancouver. So I've only ever been to like Vancouver and Vancouver Island and Canada, and Vancouver's just one of my favorite cities in general. It's really beautiful, and I just
Hmm.
could never get tired of it. Done this. I've done the seawall both ways,
Hmm.
and usually I've done it while the sun is setting. So you start while it's
Yeah.
still light, and once you get to back to the city, it's all dark. And
Yeah.
one of the scenes I remember the most was just in addition to the sun setting is when I got back to the actual city. It's like there was this full moon that was it looked like something like out of like one of those postcards.
Yeah. And like Pinky said, there's so many beautiful things about Vancouver. Like not only Stanley Park and the seawall, but like when the sun sets and hits the mountains of North Van and it turns golden. Like that's why they call it like the Golden City. And like being able to take the sea bus over to North Van, there's so many beautiful hiking places. And but then you like literally take like a $2 bus or a sea bus fare back from North Van back into the city, and you're there in like 15 minutes. And so you like literally come from the mountains to the city in like no time. And then like Granville Street and stuff. I guess so many beautiful places that like there's different types of beauty. But yeah, it's a great city. I loved living there, and I really do miss it.
Oh, it
Oh
looks
my
like
gosh,
you
we're getting
got a
a raid.
raid.
Vanilli, hello, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. How are you? Welcome. Scorch Heart escaped now to set a flame. Oh wow. Thank you so much. How are you? How was your stream? And please tell me how to say your name. Is it Vanilli? Well, welcome in. Thanks for coming in and choosing us as your raid. I appreciate that. There's a shout out for Vanilli, so everybody go check them out.
Yeah, well, thank you for that raid. You made Cherry a very happy sprout.
I always love a raid.
Yeah, but getting back to Vancouver, I I would say in addition to the seawall walk, two of my other favorites is when I done the Sea to Sky Highway. I forget the name of the park, but it was the one with all those bridges and everything, and I thought that was
Hmm.
really nice. And taking the ferry over to Vancouver Island and visiting Victoria and Nanaimo, and
Yeah.
the ferry ride was equally just as great as visiting
Yeah.
the island itself, especially when you're coming back and the sun is setting and you can see it over the sea and everything.
Vanilla, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the church. You're a sprout now. Yeah, did you know that they filmed X-Men in on Vancouver Island over on Victoria, and they have the mansion there on the island. So I went over there to like, I wanted to see it. So I brought my friends and we all went over on the ferry and we found the school, quote quote, the location that they filmed the school at. And we were so excited to be able to go in and see it, and we like traveled so far to go see it, and it was closed for the summer,
Oh
and it was
no, I'm
so sad. And
sorry.
so we were walking around the grounds because you could still walk around the gardens and stuff, and then a security guard popped up and was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And we like explained the situation, and we were like, "We just really wanted to see it, and we came so far." And she was like, "Ah, you guys want to see inside?" And so she unlocked it for us and gave us a private tour. It was amazing. I was so excited.
Oh, that was very nice of them. And Peggy's like,
Yeah,
I
they're
want to see
crazy.
that.
Yeah, it was really, really awesome, and, like, I'm such a huge X-Men fan, so I was, like I was just, like, dying. I was just so excited.
I,
I was like, "And here's the part, and here's the place where Wolverine jumps off the banister," and, like and if you actually look at all the, like, door handles, they all have X's on them. They're, like it's just really cool. It's really cool.
I, so one of my favorite movies is Home Alone, and used to go to New York like a lot because I have family and friends up there, and I just remember like going inside the plaza. I'm like, oh, okay, well here's the area where Kevin ran through the doors, and here's the area where he went got into the elevator, and he's like, and they were chasing him and everything, and it's just a real experience, when you see a location on a film versus actually seeing it in real life. And
Yeah.
what would that like for you? Seeing it on TV versus just seeing it in real life.
I mean, there's, like, a disconnect in your brain where you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm actually here," like, but it's, like, real. And I actually remember because like, there's a lot of films and TV that are filmed in Vancouver, and you would always be passing through, like, film sets, and, like, I remember there's, like, this one show that took place in New York City, but they were filming in Vancouver, and so the art department had to, like, go around and change all the bus stops to be, like, like, New York advertisements, and then they would have, like, New York buses, like, they changed the buses to look like New York or taxis, I mean, like, the taxis would be, like, picture cars that were from New York, and it's just really interesting because like, you're walking in Vancouver, and then as you turn on, like, one street and you're walking down, you're like, "Wait, am I in New York now?"
Well, that's one way to teleport.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. Now, I know Vancouver and Canada especially had like a big animation and voiceover industry. Did you grow up like watching like any particular Canadian animated series at all that stood out to you, or one that you liked a lot?
I don't know. I feel like that part of, like, my childhood is such a blur. I feel like, I watched a lot of like TV and like listened to a lot of music and like I know that like, you know, like Canadian TV and like Canadian radio, like they have to play a certain amount of Canadian made productions and stuff. So like or like for TV or like music. So they have to play a certain amount of like Canadian stuff. But like this like growing up, like I remember like watching like Pokemon and stuff like those are the ones that stood out to me. Like I don't know if they were like necessarily any like Canadian shows per se
Well,
that stuck out.
one I recently watched it is Sonic Prime, being a huge Sonic fan, and because it was made in Canada, they had to use Canadian voice actors, and they're very good.
Mhm.
I got to meet the voice of Sonic, Devin Mack, at a convention
Oh.
not too long ago, and I met some of the other voice actors who did voices in the G4 MLP, because that had a lot of Canadian VAs as well, and it's really interesting to see all the different shows that they do voices
Yeah.
in and animations in too.
And I think as a kid, you don't really clock things that are Canadian or American or whatever. You're just watching it and it's just TV. And like I do remember the Goosebumps show was like entirely Canadian, but it was like an American show. So it's like stuff like that where it's like you're using Canadian actors and stuff like that, and it's like the production is American, but you're watching like the kids say like sorry and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, those are definitely Canadian actors.
Yeah, Pinky was pointing out the Donkey Kong Country cartoon where Canadian. I forgot about that, but
Oh, that's
yeah, that I
awesome.
remember that cartoon too. It was certainly
Hmm.
something to say the least.
I haven't seen it. I don't recall ever watching it, but I played the games. I love the games.
I love the game too. The second one is my favorite. Was there
Yes,
any?
Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Did,
love the music in that game,
oh,
like,
me
oh,
too. The sticker brush symphony. I think that's what it's called. It's usually one of
mhm,
the most memorable video game soundtracks that sticks
yeah,
around
and
in a lot of people's mind too.
yeah, and, like, the water levels always have, like, the most beautiful music.
I know you're a musical person. What is it about those particular two tracks in your view that makes them stand out so much?
I think they just emit an emotion that, like, not only is very nostalgic, but, like, when you're a kid, I remember just getting these, like, the feeling of, like, being like, it just transcends the level itself. It's, like, the emotion you get of being underwater in, like, a different world. I don't know, I think that's just kinda, like I don't know, it's just one of those it was just a song that really emoted, like, it almost gave me, like, a very serene feeling, you know, even as a kid, I was it's, like, emotions I couldn't really describe as a kid.
Now, I've certainly noticed that there's been a bunch of Canadian VTubers that have been popping up. Like I don't know how many you've discovered recently, but if you have, like, what's that been like? What's
It's
that been like for you? You know, to discover fellow
yeah.
VTubers that are also in your country too.
It's actually really amazing because, you know, like, a lot of media and stuff is so dominated by American stuff. Like, when I "Thank you, Toggy, I shall hydrate." And I'll stretch, "Thank you." Um, so, like, when I come across, like, a VTuber who's, like, talking about a loony or a toonie or, like, having to take the SkyTrain or, you know, just saying things that are Canadian, and I'm just like, "Whoa." It's like finding, like, a diamond in the rough almost, like so, like, of course, we have Pinky, and you have a server for Canadian VTubers, that's right, you do. Mia what's her name? Mia Maya is also Canadian, I just found her,
Oh
the dog
yeah, she is.
person.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, she's amazing, I would love to do a collab with her one day, but, yeah, she's really great, but really yeah, I've come across a couple, but and like Pinky said, there's a whole server for Canadian VTubers, which is a great resource, Pinky. You're amazing for that.
Yeah. Two that I've recently come across. One I think it's called. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Wolper B. I can't remember the name of the creature, but she has like the antlers and the wings, and she's just very nice. And another one is called I Dolly Ooh, and she's like this goth VTuber, and it's very chill. It just has like this jazz music playing in the background, and she
Oh.
just sits there and just chats with the viewers. And I remember one of the streams she did. It was like she just made like a whole thing of Nanaimo bars, which was really interesting to see. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh, thanks, like,
yeah.
oh, dang, I want some
Banana
now because I can't get them
bars.
here.
So good. Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Now, is there any place, whether it be in Canada or elsewhere in the world, you'd really like to visit but haven't been to yet?
Well, I've always wanted to take oh, sketch. Why'd you do that? I've always wanted to take a train, like a sleeper train from Vancouver over to Toronto. It just goes use like straight kind of along the one um and why do you doggy why but I've always wanted to do that but as far as like traveling other places I'd really like to go to Norway, Sweden, Switzerland. Those are my next like really big ones, and then I'll kind of be satisfied. There's not a lot of places I want to travel. Those are kind of the big ones that I haven't hit yet because I've already hit China and Japan and Iceland. Those were like the big ones on my list. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I've been to Denmark and I've only been to Malmo in and Sweden and Scandinavia was truly very very interesting place to visit, and I
Yeah.
love like being able to cross the bridge from Denmark over to Sweden when going over to
Wow.
Malmo, and just you know getting to try like actual like local Swedish meatballs, and just I used to have a friend
Mhm.
in Denmark that I've met twice, and just
Aw.
getting shown around like the local places that tourists don't usually go to. There was a place called Bon Land that she brought up
Ah.
memories of, and one of the things I said, oh yeah, let's go there. So we went there, and I still have the photo of us on the log flume vibe, and we're like,
Aw.
we just have that making the face, and it's a very memorable photo that will always
That's so cute.
stand out to me. I know Trophy Garden, what was another
Mhm.
place that she took me to that was very interesting to see too.
Pinky, yes, we need to do a train across Canada together. Let's do it.
I want to do that too. I would love to visit all the other places across Canada as well. Like one of the things
Yeah.
I would like to see, I want to see the West Edmonton Mall. Like I love walking around malls. I
Oh,
love walking. I always want to see like what like one of the biggest malls in Canada, if not the world. It's really like outside of Metro Town
yeah.
because I've been there a few times. Uh, Toronto is another place I'd love to go to because it's a pretty short flight from where I am. It's just expensive.
Yeah. Well, Pinky can definitely take you to that mall.
Yeah,
Pinky knows that mall well.
yeah. Make me there, Pinky.
There's also a train that takes you from Vancouver up to Alaska, and it's called like a glass top train, where the entire top of the train is like a glass dome. So you get this beautiful view all the way up BC and into Alaska. It's really beautiful. My
I've heard
grandparents took
about
it when
that
we were
train.
little.
Well, I remember, I think it was back in 2006. We went on a family trip, Alaska cruise, and yeah,
Ooh.
we went from Whittier to different places in Alaska and ended it in Vancouver, and it was a great trip too. That was like my first time ever going to Alaska and Vancouver, and I'll just never forget when we landed in Anchorage, like still seeing the sun up at like 10 something in the evening. That just blew my mind.
Yeah, that's always very interesting to get used to.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what if you had to recommend whether it be like a local Canadian dish or say local place to visit in Canada to someone who may be visiting for the first time, what would it be?
Okay, so down near East Van, there once was a restaurant called, I'm trying to remember because it's been a lot of years. It's called, I think, Bon Chave, and they make these amazing like French rolls that are like buttery, and I've never been to another place like it. I can't find it. It's sadly it's out of business now, but it was like one of the best. I would go there every single day and buy like a $2 little roll, and they're so good. I don't remember. I think it was called Bon Chave. But that would be a place I'd recommend if it were still open. I would definitely suggest getting a megabyte pizza if you're in Vancouver. I love megabyte pizza. It's one of my favorite pizzas. But it's, yeah, I don't know, that those would be the two places I say go.
Yeah, yeah. Piggy suggesting smoked poutineery. One place I
Mhm.
would usually go to in Vancouver is called Mean Poutine.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, we can't really get it easily down here in America. So every time I went to Canada, I would always just make a point to get it just once. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just so good. But I wish it was more easier to get. I understand it's not too hard to make though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not too hard to make, but you just it doesn't hit the same as unless you're like in, there's also like really great crepe places, like I think it's called like Le Crepe Cafe or something. But you can get some really great savory crepes in Canada.
I know we were like
Anything.
talking about burger. I think we're like on the last stream, and there's a place if you want like the American diner experience called the Templeton, and I actually heard about this place because I was watching a play, and it had like the theme of like the 50s diner and everything, which is like my
Mhm.
type of thing. And I asked like, oh okay, hey, is there a place in Vancouver that had like this exact type of thing? Like, oh yeah, go and check out the Templeton. So I went there and had the staple, burger, fries, and a milkshake, and it was
Mhm.
very good. So if you want a good burger, that's certainly a place I can
Are
personally
you talking about the
suggest.
50s diner on Seymour Street? I wonder if that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that's so cool. I remember that place. I used to go there all the time. Emmy Wemmy is thinking of visiting Vancouver, and we've convinced you to go. I'm so excited. That's so great. If you need any tips or tricks on where to go, and if you like to snowboard or ski, they've got some really great options there too. You don't have to go to Whistler, which is really expensive. They've got Gross Mountain and a couple other places like Cypress, and if you like to do that. But yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure. I'm happy to give tips and tricks as well because I used to go to Vancouver every year. I actually done one a year. I think no, actually multiple years. I went during Canada Day, and there was like a local festival down in Surrey, and I've gotten to see the
Mhm.
fireworks out in the waterfront, which was very interesting
Yeah.
to see.
I was there during the was it the 20 what was it, 2010 Olympics or something? It was crazy. It was so crazy.
What was that like?
Dude.
Just to
It
be
was
there during
like
the
okay,
Olympics.
so it was so funny because when it was a big Canadian versus American hockey game for the Olympics, and I think Canada won, and there were just people flooding the streets going, I'll try to keep this say so, but basically they were like, F America, F America, Canada's the best, go Canada, go Canada. I was just like, wow, the hate for America is real here.
Hey, when it comes to us going against each other in hockey, it's
Yeah,
always
it's
a
a big
game to,
deal.
to watch for sure, for sure.
Oh, Pinky, yeah, let's do it. Oh, I hope you get to go to the championship
Oh, that
game. That would
sounds
be
fun, Pinky.
fun. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, like dang it. I just lost my train of thought. But oh yeah. Well, I remember when the Olympics was here in my city. We had a family friend of mine, just come to visit, and we got to go to like the Olympic experience. And I remember I got to play this game with kids. I think we had to like pass something from front to back, and we had to do it in the quickest time possible. And we had a person who played Ronald McDonald, timing us and everything. It was a lot of fun, and it ended in a tie, and everything. And just the whole thing was very memorable, especially if you either live in a place where like a big event comes, like the Olympics or the World Cup, or you get to visit a place during that time. It's an experience seeing it in real life versus watching it on TV.
Mm, that's really cool.
Oh, so I got a really good question that will kind of put you on the spot. So you're in a room full of Twitch executives, and you get to pick one big improvement to Twitch, and go.
Better, um, better discoverability.
I agree. I agree
Yeah.
completely because the algorithm, sadly enough, can work against you.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's like when you go to like YouTube, discoverability is a lot easier and the algorithm's so much better. But Twitch is like an uphill battle. So it's like if you're small, you don't get recommended. So you stay small and then never get recommended. It's like a little feedback loop. So yeah, that would definitely be the number one thing I would tell them to do better.
Okay. Well,
And I'm interested in seeing what people in the chat would also answer that question
yeah,
with.
I would love to hear too. I mean, it's like, oh, good question. What, yeah,
Mhm.
I like to think of the deeper stuff. Uh, if you want to get recommendation, just be
Yeah,
bigger. Want to be bigger, get recommended. Yeah, it's like
exactly.
getting a job. Like, okay, well, you need experience to get the job, but to get experience, you need a job.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's like one of those double-edged swords,
Yeah.
as unfortunate as it may be.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. So I those are all the questions I have. What are some final words you would like to say, Cherry, before I end my Q&A with you?
Well, first I want to say thank you so much for inviting me to do this. So I think that was really great, and thank you everybody who stuck around and hung out with us. I think my final thoughts are, um, VTubing is hard, but if you want to do it, do it. And if if you want to come to Canada, let us know.
Yeah.
Those are the two major things we talked about. But yeah, remember that you need to do VTubing for the love of VTubing. And when you don't love it, don't do it. You don't have to push yourself to do things you don't want to do. And I need to take that advice on my own. And I wish everybody best of luck, because I know we have a lot of VTubers here. I wish for all of you to grow really big this year, and I want to be there to support all of you guys because you're always here to support me. And so thank you everybody. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, well, I would like to thank you very, very much, Cherry, for letting me do a Q&A with you. I want to thank everybody in the audience for tuning in. Please give Cherry like a lot of love and a lot of support. She deserves it for sure.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, if you would like to wrap things up with your audience, I'm going to let you suggest who we should double raid, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me see who's on. Yeah, of course. Thank you, Milk, for being here. Kay, thank you for staying awake for this. I know you were really tired. And Emmy, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you guys. Milk, it's always good to see you. Let me see who's on. Um, if there's anybody that hang on. Pixie is on. Do you want to do Pixie
Yeah,
Pop?
we can go raid Pixie.
Okay,
That's
let's do it.
That's another person I'd love to do a Q&A with too. She's
Yeah,
a
you
small but
definitely
growing
should.
streamer. She's very sweet.
Yeah, I really like Pixie, and I'd love to learn more about her. So yeah, definitely you should hit her up for your interview sometime. I'm sure she'd love that too.
Alright.
How do we do a double raid? We just both raid,
Yeah,
yeah?
we just both raid, so
Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Let's go send our cherry love over to Pixie, okay? Remember, if you're a follower, you should. I think I might have an issue with my things, but for some reason people aren't able to use my emotes. But if you can use those, your first raid, Emmy, this will be fun. You'll love Pixie. So we're gonna go and let me get the raid going. What's DYXI pop? There it is.
yep. I started on my
All
end
right.
too.
All right, we're gonna start this raid, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh.
Hi Pumpkin Spice. Bye Pumpkin Spice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any last words?
Uh, yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. I just was my first solo Q&A. I did tell myself I was gonna network with more content creators, and I'm holding myself to it. So I'm
Yay!
going to see where this goes. And apologies for the scuff. That's just normal part of the stream.
You fixed it quite quickly. So
Thank you. Yeah, that's another plug in your laptop next time. all right, let's
Okay.
go send love to Pixie Pop. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.